Welcome to Healing Your Ancestral Lineage, Reveal, Release, Transform Family Patterns. Before we begin Module 1, Reveal, I want to open our time together with prayer to center us and call in our guiding ancestors. So I ask each of you to just breathe, close your eyes, and bring yourselves into a center space. Beloved Mother, Father, God, and the compassionate, loving ancestral spirits that join us today, individually and collectively, we welcome you. And we welcome those spiritual ancestors, the ancient ones, star nations, angelic realm, ascended masters, all those beings who have come to interact with humans since the beginning of our beautiful planet. We thank you that today we can call upon you and know that your wisdom can guide us and that our hearts can be open. We thank you for your presence and we welcome you. Ashe. And biological ancestors, those ancestors within each of our lineages who have lived good lives and transcended, who are here to bring their wisdom and their guidance. We welcome you today, and it is with you we seek healing for our past, our present, and our future. For we are all one, and as each one of us does our own work with our ancestors, we become part of the healing of our planet. And so we thank you for joining us today and throughout this work that we do. Ashe. And ancestors of land and place, we thank you that always you have been here caretaking the land in the form of the unseen, the elementals, the elements, the beings that work so tirelessly to bring balance and to remind human beings that we are part of this earth. We thank the fire spirits and the water spirits and the earth spirits and the mineral spirits and the nature spirits. We call upon all of you and ask that you would stand with us and open our hearts. Help us see a bigger picture, the expanded perspective through the omens that you offer us each and every day. We are so grateful for your presence in our lives. Ashe. And may this work that we begin today open a new vista for each of us, a new way of seeing the world, of seeing ourselves, of seeing our ancestors, of seeing each other. As we connect with our ancestral roots, may our connection with Mother Earth deepen, and may all of us recognize that the healing of our planet depends on the work each of us do, individually and collectively. And so we are grateful that you have joined us today, beloveds. We ask that everything here be for the highest good and always for the purpose of healing with ease and grace. Tukosa. So my name is Gretchen Crilly McKay, and I'll be facilitating this exploration for the next 6 weeks. I want to tell you a little bit about myself in case you don't know me. In 1999, I met the Zulu Sangoma, who would change my life. He was from Swaziland, Africa, visiting the United States, and he'd come to Southern California to teach and meet with medical doctors and traditional healers. Baba PH would become my mentor and guide me back to my ancestors, my biological lineage. I'd been practicing shamanism for many years, but he brought another dimension to the understanding of my spiritual path. I always say that my ancestors sent me 10,000 miles from home to be reconnected with my lineage. I was privileged to live among the ancient traditional healers of southern Africa, the Sangoma, or shaman, who have been the mediators between the ancestors and the living for hundreds of years. Today, even in business, the ancestors are consulted regarding big decisions that need to be made. What I brought back with me from this experience was a deep understanding of the importance of the challenges and sacrifices of my ancestors, and the awareness that I carry not only their gifts and talents, but I also have the traumas and the wounds within my DNA. We all do. So the realization that I can manifest and or heal my lineage through releasing old wounds carried in the DNA has guided me in the 16 years since my initiation and graduation into the tradition of the Sangoma. Bringing that hope into the world is my greatest desire. In my practice, I often find that clients are experiencing difficulties in their lives that are the product of family karma. The ancestors are inviting them to work on restoring harmony for themselves, for the ancestors, and their descendants. By setting the intention to open to healing the DNA that carries our family traumas and patterns, we affect the past, the present, and future generations. We are all part of the divine order, and every incarnation our soul co-creates is a carefully designed plan, including karmic issues that we agree to correct. Some karmic imbalances are generated in this lifetime, and some we bring in from prior lives. At birth, we activate our life lessons, karmic issues, and inherited ancestral issues that our soul has agreed to work with for healing and resolution. Usually in each family, there's one person that has agreed to come in and help heal the lineage. The ancestors are an important part of our soul's evolutionary process. Among them, there's usually one, sometimes more, that are chosen as personal guides. Ancestors who have been assigned to work with us, maybe grandparents or other deceased relatives, including family members long forgotten, ancestors who have lived good lives and transcended. That's the key there. They speak the language of intuition and symbols through the elements, memories, dreams, and metaphors. So restoring balance and harmony to the planet begins with healing ourselves. Working in partnership with our ancestors is part of this process. So I want to just go over the three categories of ancestors with you. There are spiritual ancestors, biological ancestors, and ancestors of land and place. In different traditions, each of these groups may be defined a little bit differently or called different names. But in essence, these are the three categories that are agreed upon throughout indigenous cultures. So first of all, we have the spiritual ancestors. These are the ancient ones, and they include the ascended masters and the angelic realm and what I call the star nations. They are high vibrational beings who guide humanity and have been doing so since humankind began on Earth. This would include, as I said, the star nations, Jesus, Buddha, Kuan Yin, and many more. This can also include people who have brought great change to the world and have become spiritual ancestors for the planet. Gandhi, St. Francis, Chief Seattle. Okay. So these are spiritual ancestors who are guardians of many. And oftentimes you'll find that people share that one of their ancestors is some historic figure. And that's not unusual. That's not unusual at all. Biological ancestors. Those are the ancestors who we share our DNA with. We ask to work with only those who have lived good lives and transcended. Okay, this is important. We're not asking those who are still terribly wounded to intervene with us. We don't know what we can get ourselves into there. We're asking for those who lived good lives and transcended, and they will speak and guide on behalf of our whole lineage. Among these ancestors, there's usually one or two chosen to look after you and then report back to the elders. So ancestors who have agreed to work with us can be from any time in our lineage. And then there are the ancestors of place or land. And they may never have incarnated, but they've been with particular places on earth since the beginning. These would include the elementals that oversee the well-being of places and or create awareness when areas become out of balance and need restoration. Power spots on the planet have vortexes that bring power and draw people to them for healing and visioning. The elements themselves are often in this ancestral category of place and land. So these ancestors are guiding our planet now through weather patterns, through all of the things we're seeing. These are the ancestors helping to wake us up to take care of Mother Earth. So to begin with, in this module, I want you to create an ancestral altar. We're exploring in this module the element of reveal. During our first guided journey, you'll be meeting your guardian ancestor. After connecting with this ancestor, you will continue journeying during this 2-week exploration period to seek more insight and guidance about your lineage and how you can help the subconscious limiting beliefs be revealed and then released. The purpose of an ancestor altar is to open the door, to begin building a relationship with your ancestors. You light a candle on the altar and speak the names of your maternal and paternal ancestors to honor their lives and the sacrifices they've made so that you could be here now. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for our ancestors' lives. And when we open this door, we begin a healing process for 7 generations in the past, the present, and 7 generations into the future. If you don't know the names of your ancestors, acknowledge them by calling in the lineage through a surname and recognizing that you don't know all of their names, but you are honoring those whose blood and DNA you carry. And a side note here is sometimes we can have been reincarnated as our own ancestors. I certainly had that experience as I explored my ancestors and my guides, particularly in Africa. And 2 of my guides, my ancestral guides, I have been them, they are me. So it's not a simple or linear process. Understand it's organic and you're not to figure it out with your head. Just be with it in your heart. And so in the altar, you can put a white or red cloth, a white or red candle, flowers, incense. It can be sage or any of your favorite incenses, pictures, objects, symbols of your lineages. If you feel guided to use a colored cloth from your cultural heritage, please do so. White is simply a traditional color in many cultures, but not all. In southern Africa, the colors red, white, and black honor the ancestors. To activate your altar, you're going to light the candle and incense daily for 7 days. You're going to speak your ancestors' names and give gratitude. You'll ask your ancestors to guide you in breaking any current situation that's holding you back, including the evolution of your ancestors. These rituals are to introduce, your ancestors to you now. Think of it as meeting them in a family reunion. You're asking to get to know them better and allowing them to get to know you better. They may have been around you for many years, but they've been watching. And until now, you hadn't perhaps invited them in. And so the next stage after this would be to welcome your ancestors by doing a couple of rituals in nature. So these are to introduce your ancestors to the land where you are living. Think about it, if your ancient ancestors, maybe not so ancient ancestors, came from another country, they came from another part even of the United States, the land you are living on now is not the same as theirs. If you're in a town, especially in Europe, and there are places in the United States where your family has lived for generations, the ancestors know these places, but we still want to activate our recognition of our ancestors' relationship to the land where we are. So you're going to do 2 rituals, one at the water and the other by a mountain and a tree. And a hill is fine if you don't live in a mountainous area. You don't have to go hours away up into the mountains. If there's a place near you that has both mountain and water, you can do this ritual once there. So to do your water ritual, you're going to find a place in nature where there's water. It could be ocean, a lake, river, or stream. You'll take offerings of flowers and coins and bring bread or birdseed to scatter for the birds. If there are other offerings that you are intuitively asked to bring, please do so. These are just suggestions. And so I want you to stand with your feet in the water and feel your roots going deep into Mother Earth, grounding you. And then you'll open the top of your head to connect with Source and your own divine nature. You'll call in your guardians, those who you trust, who love you, who protect you, to be with you in this ritual. And then you'll open with your prayers to your ancestors and the ancestors of the place in nature that you are doing this ritual. You want to ask them permission also for doing this ritual. And you'll introduce your ancestors to the ancestors of the land and place where you are living. Think of it as having a family reunion at your home where you're welcoming different groups that haven't met before, especially if it's a spouse's family and your 2 families don't know each other. Name your ancestors and give thanks. Tell them about the place you're living, what brought you here. Give gratitude to them and share your needs and your prayers. Talk to them about your work and what you want to create in the world. Ask them to help you resolve old patterns and issues in your lineage. Whatever flows through you, say it. Let it be spoken out loud to them. And then you want to create a medicine wheel or a little shrine. And to create a medicine wheel, you'd mark the 4 directions and the center with stones, with tobacco, with flowers, whatever you have that you've brought. And then you can build a cairn, which is where you stack up rocks from the area that you find, and each rock, each stone carries one of your prayers. And you stack those up and leave them in that place. And here's where you leave your offerings. Meditate or journey at this shrine or altar and pay attention to the omens in nature around you. Take some time to write in your journal before you leave. Always write down what you receive, and then close the circle by giving gratitude. The ritual you're going to do then in nature by a tree and a mountain or hill is similar. You can make a medicine wheel again, scatter birdseed in the 4 directions, you set the sacred space, you give your offerings, you stand with your feet on the earth, or you can put your back to the tree. That's a really good way to ground and to feel part of nature. Again, you call in your ancestors, you open with prayers to your ancestors and to the ancestors of the place you are doing this ritual. You name your ancestors. And then you meditate in this place and pay attention to the omens around you. Are there birds? Are there bugs? Are there noises? And take some time to write down your experience before you leave. You close the circle and you give gratitude and leave offerings. So this is what you're being asked to take care of in the next 2 weeks. At the end of the document that's included, the PDF that you can download, you'll find the transcript of this video. And then at the end of the document, you'll also find the activities for your ancestral exploration for Module 1, along with material for further reading and also some links to YouTube videos with shamanic journeying music. So hopefully that will help. If there's any question that you have, please send me an email. I am absolutely available to you. Over the next 2 weeks, you'll create your altar, you'll do the 2 rituals, and you'll begin looking at your family tree. If you don't have a family tree, that's okay. Just consider beginning one. You could collect pictures and stories of family members, both deceased and living. You're really looking for any family patterns and or subconscious limiting beliefs. The second journey in this exploration is about identifying limiting subconscious beliefs. The first journey, the first guided journey, is meeting your guardian ancestor. And so that would be the first thing you would do. The second journey then is to explore some limiting subconscious beliefs. And that guided journey will give you directions. When you do these journeys, please take a notepad and pencil with you so that you can write down whatever experiences you had, whatever thoughts you had. Those are all important. And for our call next week, you'll share your discoveries and inquiries. You may not have completed all of this material, but I would hope you've completed much of it. And the second week can be just further delving into a deeper understanding, more journeying about your guardian ancestor and about your limiting subconscious beliefs. Thank you for joining this journey with me. I'm excited to see how it evolves for each of you and our little community that's gathering together. There's always power in group. And so I'm grateful that each of you has been called for this adventure. So let me just close in prayer quickly. Thank you, beloveds, for being here with us, for guiding our time together, and for continuing to work with each soul on their journey. We know that we are loved, and may we understand the past, the present, and the future more deeply as we reveal, release, and transform our ancestral lineage. May everything be for the highest good and always for the purpose of healing with ease and grace. Dakasa. Goodbye, beloveds.